Okay, tonight we are going to cover the developer sacred strength. This is a tricky strength for me to cover. Frankly, it's very emotional for me to teach this strength, especially when we get into the sinister side of developer. And I'm going to explain why that is as we move along through this. But let's cover some kind of background information here. First of all, I want to tell you that of all the clients that Kim and I coach in the strengths, when we add them all, we kind of put them all together on this spreadsheet and we kind of track which strengths do we see that a lot of people in our that we coach have, and what strengths do are less prominent. You know, we just like that for curiosity reasons and to show how where our strengths are as a group, kind of looking at some group dynamics with the sacred strengths. And developer happens to be, of all the people we coach, it is the most seen strength of all the people we coach, of having that strength in their top 10. So this strength comes up a lot. This is a very popular strength within our coaching realm. And it's a favorite strength of people. People that have developer love this strength. They connect with it so deeply. It's very much like the connectedness strength. They connect with those strengths so well. And so developer has this like aura around it. It is such a magnificent strength. So let's talk about where we find developer. Developer is part of the relationship building domain. You'd almost think the developer, you'd see it in influencing. Why isn't this an influencing strength? Well, as you get to understand it a little bit better, the base of this strength, the basis is about the personal connection that the developer has with the developee. That is critical here. Unlike maximizer or unlike command or some of these other strengths, the relationship takes the dominant, takes the dominant place here in that connection with people. So that's why this is, in fact, when you understand it, you will understand that this is definitely a relationship building strength, even though it kind of leans over into influencing a little bit. But the core of it is all about the relationship. So I want to share that with you. So let's talk about the sacred side. Developer is, again, it's one of those things that just kind of has an aura around it, in my opinion. But developer people are some of the most generous people I've ever met. They are so generous with their time, with their talent, and their treasure. And so you can take a note on how this is going to go sinister by me saying that. By saying how generous they are, that's a key clue here on what can go wrong. But let's not go there yet. Let's stay in the sacred side here. Developer is about people who just want to see people be their best. They want to connect with people and help them to be their best. They are, again, some of the most generous, some of the most loving, some of the most kind, gift-giving people, giving of themselves, selfless people. That is what I love about developer. It is just that. The relationship is so special when a developer connects with you that they're going to be like your cheerleader. They're going to be like, if you're feeling down about something, they're going to want to pick you up. They are just like eternal optimists, and they absolutely do want you to be your very best, and they want to connect with you on that higher level. So these are all such wonderful gifts that the developer brings to the table. If you're feeling down, a developer is going to come along and say, "Hey, it's okay. You've got this. We can move past this. I'm going to do it with you. We're going to make this happen. This is the kind of things that developers do. They want to make sure you have every tool you need. They're going to wait to make sure you have every piece of information, and they're going, but it's more about the feeling. This is a very spiritual strength. This is a very, not so much about it's not like they're trying to give you the facts like some of the other strengths, like the deliberative or the analytical folks out there. This is more about the feeling. We want you to feel good about yourself. We want you to feel deep down inside that you can do this. Incidentally, developer is my number 8 sacred strength, so I do have this one in my top 10. And for Kim, I believe it's her number 4 sacred strength. I believe it's one of her bookends around her heart strength, which is the futuristic strength. So we both have this one in our top 10, and as a result of that, we keep this in the forefront a lot, and especially in the business we're in of owning a retreat center and trying to coach people and helping people to be the best versions of themselves. This is a very, very critical strength for that. So this is one we're very much in tune with. So let's talk about what can go wrong. I think it's pretty easy to understand how special this strength is when it's going right. It is a beautiful strength when it's going right. So what happens when this strength goes sinister? This is where it gets painful, okay? So if you are in fact a developer, and I know a lot of you out there that I coach that are going to be watching this, this is going to hurt, okay? And that's why that's why I'm a little bit uncomfortable with this. This is going to hurt. But it's the reality of the situation, and if you can understand this, it's going to help you. This goes sinister because not everyone wants to be developed. And I know in saying that to a person with high developer, that is a painful statement to make. Not everyone wants to be developed. And when I've said that to developers, and it takes them back. Some show physical signs of distress when I talk about this, but this is the reality of the situation. I wish it weren't true. I wish everybody wanted to be developed. I wish everyone wanted to grow. But this is where the strength goes sinister, is when we try to develop people who really aren't interested. And especially like a lot of times, think of an employer situation you have an employer who's a developer, and they're trying to develop, their staff people and, their team. And they've got some people that don't want to develop. And so what do? They keep trying harder and harder and harder. And pretty soon things get really inauthentic because the developer is put into a spot to where they have to keep ramping it up. They have to move up to, well, that didn't work. I have to try harder. That didn't work. I need to do more. And they're not understanding that, hey, you know what? These folks, they might be wonderful people. I'm not saying they're bad people, but some people just aren't focused on development. Some people kind of like where they are and want to live kind of a status quo life. There are, that's a reality of the world. So we have to understand that not everyone wants to be developed. And when you understand that, it's going to help you a lot. So what happens if you keep ramping things up and with this person who doesn't want to be developed, you keep trying, and then suddenly what's going to happen is you're going to start doubting yourself. You're going to start doubting who you are, because you're going to look at it as a failure on you, that you were not able to develop this person. And this is where things can get really sinister, because all that negativity turned inward on a developer that's going to drag you right down into your shadow strengths. It's going to suck you down, and you're going to shut down. And that's just not what a developer should be doing. The developer, again, that's a relationship building strength. It's all about connection. And so if a developer goes inward, think about how devastating, especially if they're taking a sense of failure inward. Think about how devastating that's going to be to them. So what can we do to protect ourselves? All of my wonderful people out there that Kim and I coach out there, what can you do to protect yourselves, you high developers? First of all, you got to remember the cardinal rule with this one. Not everyone wants to be developed. The next thing you can do is, as you're working with people, is you got to have some good boundaries. You really have to set those boundaries on saying, know ahead of time, I'm willing to help this person get to this point, but I need to have some expectations that they're going to meet along the way. They have to show that they're progressing for me to spend my time, talent, and treasure there. There's all kinds of people in the world who do in fact want to be developed. It does not make sense for you to spend more and more time on someone who doesn't, because that's going to take you away from the people who do want to develop and grow. So you have to be able to differentiate those people out there and set those boundaries so that I'll go so far, but I'm expecting to see something, I'm expecting them to contribute to this. That is how you're going to grow and how you're going to honor your developer strength. I think that's it for now. I realize, again, this can be kind of a painful one for the high developer to hear. And I realize that, and I know I have wounded people with this. So if you feel wounded, I hope you'll take it to heart and understand that this is going to help you in the long run. And anyway, thank you so much for joining me this evening. And as always, remember, inspiration starts here.